There may have been some challenges during the pandemic period, but I don't see massive differences between pre and post pandemic. Yeah, there are some changes. Yes, there are some differences, but I don't see paradigm shifting differences. I see some marginal differences between them. There's a reason too that I only go back to about 2015 or 2014 looking at the data. The state assessment criteria changed pretty dramatically in the time from, I think the state legislature passed a law roughly around 2013-14 that completely changed the criteria of the state assessment scores. So looking at the data prior to that is very skewed because they're using a completely different criteria. Some people on the vote yes side want to say, well, those were just marginal differences. The data is pretty much almost seamless. That's simply not true. If you go back and you look at the criteria, what they were judging it by prior to that and then now, or since at least 2015, it's a pretty marked difference. And then, so if you look at 2015 to where we are now in 2024, you see some fluctuation for sure. It kind of goes up and down a little bit, but for the most part, it stays steady in a continual decline. Yes, there are some things to celebrate in there, but there are a lot of things, a lot of challenges, a lot of things that are quite frankly pretty tragic, and I think we need to be looking and assessing and developing a plan for those and to get those scores elevated again, and not just, again, coming back and celebrating mediocrity. Our students deserve better. I think we've got great teachers. I think we've got teachers who are on the front lines. They're doing the best that they possibly can, but I don't see evidence where they're getting a lot of assistance from the school district in really trying to develop an actionable, detailed plan to help students. There was the Wichita Teachers Union put out a survey last year. They revealed the results of it. I think they had sent it out to all their members, roughly 4,000 people. They had 37% response rate. And if you look at especially the anonymous comments from those teachers of that survey that's all been published, you can see so many of the anonymous comments were saying that the school district is on the wrong track, that they have these kind of high ideals and use this really high rhetoric, but they really don't see any actionable plan that's going to materially help these students, that they're focused on the wrong thing, that they're focused on increasing the graduation rate without better equipping those students who are graduating, who are going to be more proficient in reading and math and science. Disciplinary issues are a really, really big problem. I know with the lawsuit with the Department of Justice that kind of hamstrung a lot of the school district in terms of what they can and can't do. There's been a lot of problems there, but I think a lot of teachers are feeling that in terms of the disciplinary issues. Again, there's no reason to believe that the bond is going to help any of those things. Actually, I think what it's going to do is make it worse. If the bond passes, and remember, this is just phase 1 of 2 or 3 that are planned. If this passes, the $450 million bond, then that gives them the license to go for phases 2 and 3. And if all of them pass, it will be over $2 billion. Over $2 billion. And if they do that, they're wanting to build these new schools and continue to shut down what they call these older, inefficient schools. Well, what's going to happen when they move into these larger schools is we're going to take the student-teacher ratio, which right now stands at about 15-16 to 1, which is pretty manageable, and it's going to increase it because the class sizes are going to be much larger. So then that student-teacher ratio is going to be more like 24, 25, 26 to 1. I've seen no evidence across the country, locally, anywhere else, or just basic experience that suggests that increasing the class size and the student-teacher ratio is going to help student performance. Actually, what we've seen is it goes, again, in the opposite direction. It continues to decline. Most people, whether they're in public, private, whatever, what they're wanting to do is go to smaller class sizes because their kids get more attention, the classes are more manageable for the teacher, they're able to give a lot more one-on-one and customized education for kids. But when you've got a larger class size on top of already bigger disciplinary issues, what's going to happen with that?